The pyramids were not built by slaves, and that is just the beginning of the myths. Prepare to travel back 5,000 years in under 5 minutes. Fact 1. Ancient Egyptians invented the 365-day calendar to track the annual flooding of the Nile. It is the direct ancestor of the calendar hanging on your wall today. Fact 2. Both men and women wore makeup. They believed kohl eyeliner had magical healing powers and protected them from the harsh desert sun. Fact 3. The Great Pyramid of Giza was originally covered in polished white limestone. It would have shone like a brilliant, blinding jewel under the Saharan sun. Fact 4. Egyptians loved board games. Senet was their favorite, a game of chance played on a long rectangular board that became a national obsession. Fact 5. They were early pioneers of medicine. Archaeologists have found evidence of complex surgeries, including successful bone setting and dental work dating back to 2500 BCE. Fact 6. Egyptians were obsessed with hygiene. They bathed multiple times a day and used natural soaps made from animal fats and alkaline salts. Fact 7. Pharaonic power was not strictly male. Hatshepsut reigned as a powerful female pharaoh, famously wearing a false beard to signify her authority. Fact 8. Cats were considered sacred. They were kept as pets because they hunted venomous snakes and protected the grain stores from rodents. Fact 9. Most ancient Egyptians were not obsessed with death. They were obsessed with life. Their funeral rituals were designed to ensure their favorite moments continued into the afterlife. Fact 10. Cleopatra was not actually Egyptian. She was of Greek Macedonian descent, a descendant of Ptolemy, one of Alexander the Great's generals. Fact 11. Hieroglyphics used over 700 symbols. It took scribes years of intense training to master the art of writing, which they called the words of the gods. Fact 12. They invented the first toothpaste. It was a gritty mixture of crushed eggshells, pumice, and burnt ox hooves used to keep teeth white and strong. Fact 13. The Curse of the Pharaohs was largely a media invention. When Howard Carter opened Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922, the newspapers fabricated the curse to sell copies. Fact 14. Wills existed in ancient Egypt. Women enjoyed legal rights rarely seen in the ancient world, including the ability to own property, divorce, and sign contracts. Fact 15. Beer was a staple food. It was served at almost every meal, providing essential calories to laborers who were paid in bread, beer, and onions. Fact 16. The Great Sphinx was likely painted. Traces of red pigment on its face suggest it was once a vivid, colorful landmark in the desert. Fact 17. Mummification was a high-tech process. It took 70 days to prepare a body, involving the removal of internal organs which were stored in specialized canopic jars. Fact 18. Egyptians used shadoofs to move water. This simple lever and bucket system allowed them to irrigate fields far beyond the natural reach of the Nile. Fact 19. The Egyptians had a complex postal service. They used a network of couriers to carry papyrus scrolls across the kingdom to manage trade and military movements. Fact 20. The distance between the completion of the Great Pyramid and the reign of Cleopatra is greater than the distance between Cleopatra and the invention of the iPhone. History is not a thin slice of time, but a deep, layered ocean. We often think of the ancient world as a primitive prologue to our own, but as we look at their chemistry, their laws, and their engineering, we see a civilization that solved the problems of humanity with a sophistication that rivals our own. If they achieved so much with copper tools and papyrus, what does that say about the true potential of our species? Perhaps the most mind-blowing fact is not what they built, but how much of our modern world was shaped by their hands long before we were born.